Facebook, TASers, if you guys are watching this right now, do me a quick favor and let us know you are there. And that would be by just saying hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. That would be cool. Or where you are right now. Where are you this second? Like, where are you right now? Hopefully you're not driving. Hopefully you're parked somewhere, or you are walking, or you are maybe in your cubicle. I feel sad because you're there, but if you are there, at least maybe we can give you a little bit of a reason to smile in the cubicle world. What, Chris?
Scott, what's the shape of the room that you're in?
It's a large cube, but I can leave it. Hey, you know what? You know what I can do? See you guys later.
You just don't have carpet on the walls. That's the biggest
what I have
difference,
the
right?
privilege of doing.
Yeah. It's a cubicle that I own, and there's no carpet on the carpet's on the floor, not on the
I always
walls.
think of cubicles like those little plastic little dividers. See, I actually got a nice view outside. I can walk out there and do whatever I want. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. Hey, I want to get Periscope involved here. So why don't you let everyone know in the chat how we're going to work this? I know we've got some cool things we want to talk about, some updates. I want to get an update from Dom. For real, I have not talked to Dom much this week, and I know you've had some issues going on at home with some personal stuff, but I got to get a little caught up here because I feel like I've been out of the loop a little bit. Normally you're pestering me on the couch when I'm watching the Yankee game, and that hasn't been there. I've kind of missed it, actually. Maybe
I think we've both been busy.
Yeah, I think we've been busy. You're right. Actually, it's funny. I wrote the email today. I said I was borderline feeling overwhelmed this week, and that was no joke. Just a lot of stuff going on. We had a lot of prep for this workshop that we did yesterday, a lot of things behind the scenes with TAS, a lot of things behind the scenes with Amazon. We've had a lot of things going on, and yeah, it just feels like it's like all of a sudden things hit all at once, right? It's like, I think everyone can relate to that. It's like all of a sudden you're sitting there thinking to yourself, all right, I think I got that done, I'm good, and now you feel like you can breathe, and you're like, all right, what do I do next? Then all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got too much stuff going on. How do I pick which one to do first? And I think that was my problem this week, is I really had to try to organize. And today I did what I said in that email. I took a deep breath, and I said, Pick one of three things that you can work on right now that are most important, that are a must do. And one of those was writing that email, because that's my first thing that I like to do on Friday mornings. Took a nice walk and did that. But yeah, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed this week, to be honest with you. I think I'm feeling better now, though. I made some headway today. My list, I've got a couple of things checked off, and I feel good about that. And yeah, this weekend's going to be fun. We've got a 1K fast track tomorrow morning. A little Q&A. Chris is wearing his 1K Fast Track shirt. I'm out of uniform today. I just threw on a shirt. Dom is he's in the black. He's just got the black shirt on. Yeah, we got 1K Fast Track tomorrow. We're winding that down, too. We've got, I think, this week, and we might do an extra week. But this week is technically the end of the 5 weeks, but we are going to go probably one more just to make sure everyone is doing what they need to be doing. And I think last week we had to get a little – was it last week or the week before? I think the week before we had to get on people. We had to say, hey, listen, get to work. And in a nice, friendly way, of course, because sometimes we get busy like we all do, and we got to sometimes have a little bit of a kick in the butt. And I know I had a kick in the butt this week to say, all right, Scott, come on, we got to get this stuff done because things are pressing. So I'm going to go ahead and get Periscope going here. If you guys want to maybe get the chat rolling, see if we got any questions, or if you even want to just talk briefly, Chris, about what we're going to discuss. I want to talk a little bit about the updates with the launch. I want to hear what Dom's been doing too.
Yeah, so guys, we are going to talk about the new way to launch in 2017. We're going to give you guys a quick recap of all the knowledge that we dropped last week. Scott, I got to say, this week for me was very similar to your week. I think it was one of those weeks where, you know how you work on stuff for like 3-4 months, and you're working on all these different things, and then it just so happens that everything comes together at once? That was this week, and it's one of those things where, like, I'm going to do nothing after 1K Fast Track tomorrow except for sleep for a few hours, but it's an absolute blast, and these are the weeks that I think we live for as entrepreneurs, because we get to see the benefits of all of the work. We get to reap the rewards and see all of the things that we've been working so hard on for the last few months kind of come to fruition, whether that was all the new content that we dropped for you guys last night, whether that's the launch of the first product in this new brand. And I think over the next few weeks, we're going to have like 4 more products coming out because we're gluttons for punishment. But we were able to get the first one up And so that one was a huge leap for us. And the results that we got from launching that with no PPC and just using the strategy that we outlined last night blew my mind. I honestly did not expect to see those numbers, even though we kind of knew how responsive the audience for that product was going to be. And we've done a decent number of sales today so far without doing anything either. So that's pretty cool. Guys, the way that we like to do this is we like to stay on for right around an hour. And so right now, I believe it's 2:08 Eastern time. We'll be on until right around 3 o'clock. We generally talk about what's going on, what happened this week, all of these kinds of things for 45 minutes, share some new insights with you. And then we like to save Q&A at the end for about 15, 20 minutes, whatever time you have left. So if you guys do have questions, let us know as we work our way through here today. But first, let us know that you can see and hear us. I know we were having some problems with all the different feeds going live when we started. So comment and just say yes, and then let us know where you're tuning in from. And I see Tari from Rock Hill, South Carolina is in the house.
Wow.
We got Kevin who says locked in from the UK. So it looks like we got some people. There's about 35 of you guys on with us now. But I have a very important question, and that is, Dom, what's been going on with you this week, man? I haven't heard anything from you this week either. Your head's been kind of down. Which means you're doing a boatload. That's what I hear.
Well, you guys are just as busy as I am, I guess. That's probably what it is. I don't, if we have to talk, we end up talking. But it's been, it's been a hectic weekend. Some personal issues again with my, some family issues happening. So we've been dealing with that. That's priority number one. And of course, the best part of it is that I can, we can do that as a family. We could leave whenever we want, or close whatever we want, because we work for ourselves and we have these business models in place. If we worked a traditional 9 to 5, like most people, we just couldn't take any sick days, or maybe 1 or 2, or couldn't go on. So I'm very grateful for that. My wife's very grateful for that, and of course my family, because a bunch of the family works for us. So sometimes they have to leave too if it's a family situation. So that's what basically happened with us. An ongoing situation for a couple of weeks now. So we're dealing with that. But business side, hectic. We just received like 5,000 or 6,000 pieces of product for one of the open brand replenishment from Christmas. So that's how long it's been gone. Finally gets in. This is the first time we've actually sent directly to Amazon. So that has been nothing but a nightmare. So this first time we've ever did it.
Wow.
If you're sending that many pieces the first time, I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe try with 400 or 500 so you understand. But we wanted to do it, so we did it by sea freight. It's been in dock like for 2.5, 3 weeks. It finally got in yesterday after all this time.
Wow.
So, the broad agents here and the agents in China, obviously there's a few miscommunications, and you pay, it was door to door I paid for, and everything's fine until they get here, and then somebody else wants $75, and this guy wants $80, and this guy needs $100, and until they get paid, there's no movement. So, we have to pay storage fees because they were sitting in the port in the bonded warehouse at $100 a day times 8 days, so that's an extra $800. It was just anyways, long story short, we finally got in. We got the process going. Basically, we're going to use the same process all the time now, because we've worked out all the kinks, and that's part of doing business, right, guys? You have to get rid of the kinks. You pay up front the first time, so everything else. Now, I'm not saying the second time will be just as easy. It won't be some kinks in it, but at least we'll know what companies to wear. We'll know we need to know what's going on, who to use, and all that stuff. On top of that, we're having problems with our email system, so everything was bouncing back because we changed hosts, so that was a big mess. So all there's a $75, $100 charge. Can you email us a check? Or I wasn't getting the emails, and of course I'm out of the office. I think everything's all right, so that was a pain. To boot, for retail ARB, I just a couple trailer loads. I'm not supposed to be buying anything. That was but when you got these contracts and stuff for years, you just can't. So I just get off the horn trying to get some deals. I have literally trucks coming in, 53-foot trucks with pallets of media, CDs, DVDs, brand new sealed stuff for a major liquidation that we did. And I can't even tell you how many there are, but if you think, 24 pallets a truck, I think we have a couple of those coming. So I got to find room and all this stuff. So it's pretty stressful. We have to move stuff around. I have a couple warehouses and they're full. So, deal with that. And, whatever other stuff's going on, business, trying to, launch new PL stuff. And working on that. Got 4 or 5 new products on the way, and another couple that I talked to Scott about. Chris, I didn't really talk to you about. I know Scott would talk to you about. So we're trying to source those, and I think we're going to use it. We might use places like Guided Imports to try and see what they could do for us, so we can test out their system to see if it's because if we can find a seamless partner like that, and we say, here's the thing we want, go find it for us and get it all ready, I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's going to be Guided Imports. I actually talked to Eric this morning a little bit. I got that kind of in the works now. So they're actually at the Canton Fair, a lot of those guys right now, and then they'll be back, but they're actually expanding a little bit. And he's gung ho to work with us. So he wants to definitely get something in, and we've already had him kind of look at some products that we had our eyes on, but some of them had patents and stuff. So that kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench into that. But the ones that you were talking about, I think is definitely a great way to approach this, is to have them kind of do the hard work for us in finding all of the pieces, because it is a piece thing. And I think for people that want to know, like, okay, how do I customize something? One big thing is to find multiple pieces and make that a kit or a bundle or something like that, because then it's harder to find all those pieces and it's harder for someone to hijack you. And you have a better, you have a unique product. You have something that's more unique. So I'm excited about that. I think it's gonna work out. It's gonna be a process for us to just figure out the system that they use. But once we get it, again, it's one of those things. Then you can just keep offloading and then let them do all of the hard work as far as finding the suppliers, and then we can just line things up. And of course, we can pay the bill.
For sure. Yeah, if we can validate products through them, I mean, we'd be more than happy. Obviously, they're going to help us through the services, and if we can utilize them, so we can bring out, to our listeners, and then we can say, look, at this is, especially like you said, the one item. Again, both the 2-3 products I brought to you, pretty unique stuff. Nobody really in the market with them. Maybe 1 to 3 competitors, some none. So, and then there's a lot of piece stuff. Now the problem is, a lot of listeners, they might know, some might not know, is a lot of times when you source from China, the trade guys can get anything, but the factories only have one commodity. They either make plastic, silicone, metal, wood, bamboo. They don't just make everything in one warehouse. So the one component, especially the one product, we need like 4 different components. We need packaging. We need the whatever, everything. There's like 5, 6 different components, which I know one factory won't be able to offer. So it's definitely going to be a task. That's going to be a good one to find out if they can find it. And I think they could.
More than just a regular product. Let's just say that.
Yes.
But it's kind of like, it's the same difference as if you were to go and create your own mold. You're going to have a lot of back and forth. You're going to have a lot of tweak. Well, that's what that is. We're like, okay, we found 4 of the components, but now we're missing a component. Where do we find that? Exactly. And then they can maybe find it, and then maybe they can do the communications to line it up to where they send it to them, so they can then fulfill it. Like all of those things. That's right. Very similar to doing like a custom mold of some kind, because you have a lot of back and forth to make it work. If it works, it could be a really good thing, because like you said, there's a huge market for this, and it's only getting bigger. And it would be a really good product to throw in the open brand and see what happens.
Sure.
Let me ask you really quickly. How is, because I haven't talked to you in about a week about that. Are we out of inventory on that one product that's doing really well?
Yeah, pretty well. Well, I just ordered another 1,000 pieces. So our source in the U.S. is going to be working a lot, because I already told them that we sent a few boxes. So when they get it at their warehouse there, they're gonna freak, So yeah, it's crazy. It's still doing 30, 40, 50 a day. I mean, it's just insane.
What's the pay-per-click at? What's the pay-per-click at?
Well, about $8 a day. Yeah. $8? $7, $8. Yeah, $8. That's all we spend.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So I mean, it's just again, who knows how long it's going to last and stuff, but let's take advantage of it and go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's.
Let me ask you something. Do you notice getting more sales because you're getting more sales through one product? Does that make sense? Because you're getting more sales to the listing through that, even though it's an open brand, and I know we have a couple of products that could be potentially a good match. Are you seeing anything there within that? Because we're seeing it actually, or we're hoping to see it even more. But we're thinking like our open product right now, or our product that's leading people in right now, because we only have the one product, but we got 5 other products that are going to be kind of bringing people in. I think that's going to boost those other sales just naturally.
As far as multiple sales together, they're not
multiple sales, but I'm talking like, additional sales on other products. But I know it's kind of hard because in the open brand, there's probably only 1 or 2 that could be similar, but
there's not as many things that are closely related.
Yeah. Now the two main things that we're talking about, the one that sold like 200-300 units a day at Christmas time, and the one that sold 30 or 50 a day now. The only reason the other one's not selling as much is because there's a little more competition came in, and we don't have full stock on all the variations. So that's kind of hurting us.
And it's a little different, is meaning that the one wouldn't 100% go with the other, but you could have the same audience. But
you could have the same audience. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I want your opinion on this, because you've done this in some of your other bigger brands, and I think that it'll work this way. We're going to have, in about 5 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks, we're going to have 3 to 5 SKUs that are, and the brand. They're going to be very, very tightly meshing really good together.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So if we get sales coming in, my thought is, even like if we got those extra 25 sales or 27 sales we got on day 1, and we got 35 sales yesterday just from emailing our list, I would think that if we have other products in there, that should naturally boost those other sales.
Yeah, I think you're going to average about a 1.7 UPT to 2, which means you're going to sell 1.7 units per transaction.
Okay.
Right. So sometimes you sell 3, sometimes you sell 1, but I think it'll average out about 1.7, 1.5.
Like
no, every retailer wants to do about 1.5. Okay. Nobody does 2 or 3. That's unreasonable. But I bet you, just because everything's really close to and it's a brand, and really the product really emphasizes the usage, it emphasizes what it goes with. So it makes it a better product. The product that how am I saying? So the product you guys are going to be selling will help, make the user friendly, or the user experience a lot better.
Yeah.
With those things.
Yeah.
And what's happened is because the price points are good, it's not like you're asking $50, $60 times 5 SKUs.
No.
$18, $20. I don't know the full price, but I know it's not going to be for it. But because it's affordable, and you're going to get, here's the beauty thing, Scott, you're going to get to that $35 free shipping Prime, no problem.
Right.
And that's what's going to help. That's what's going to help you guys. So I would price my stuff so it's $35.01 combined. You know what I'm saying? Or $35.
Yep.
So they're always forced to buy 2 or 3 things.
That's
and
a
they'll
good
say,
strategy, actually.
I want to have an extra $8 to spend to get free Prime. I might as well just buy this.
I might buy an extra one and give it as a gift.
Yeah. So
we actually had a few people mention that they were buying them for a gift.
Yeah. So you can do that when it's not an open brand. I mean, we do the same thing with my other 3 brands. It's the same thing. We have price points. We get to that $35 threshold, and everything we sell. So we have the main product, another version of that product, something to use with that product, an accessory for that product. So it's an accessory for an accessory for an accessory. Right. It's crazy. It's like multiple tier. So you need this for this product, but this product, you can use this with this product for that product. So, and people usually buy it all together because it's not like it's an $80 purchase. It's like $30 combined, $20 or $35. So I think you're going to do very well. You're going to be surprised, the UPTs. People don't talk about that because everyone's so focused on selling 10 things a day. But if you can, and that's how variations work, right? The same thing. Like the things that are selling 30 to 40 a day, the hot product now, it's not one variation that's doing that. It's a combination of 4 or 5, right? That are doing. One will sell 1 or 2, the other one will sell 10, and then so forth. And then that's how it kind of works. So the open brand, it's a little tougher to do it that. Your question is, there's nobody buying one product and then saying, hey, I'm going to add this to my cart because it doesn't go together. We've got 25, 30 different products in that brand. So and now there are niches, right, where they could, if you're a fisherman, you're outdoors, but you might not want hunting stuff.
Exactly.
Just because you're a fisherman. You're still an outdoorsman. So,
but if we if we had 10 different lures, 10 different fishing poles, different nets, different bait traps or whatever, right? Yep. Like we know that if we drive someone there that's going to buy a fishing pole, they might buy some lures.
Yep.
Right.
So for Christmas for this year, the the thing that was selling at 200-300 a day at Christmas time, we're going to replenish those. We're actually adding 2 to 3 new variations, so that's going to give us like a total of 6, which is going to be insane. And then we're ordering something else that can be same type of thing, but in a different format, but can be used same thing times 4 or 5 different variations. So now we're going to have 2. We're going to have a higher end product and a lower end product. Okay, so we're working on. I've already showed you pictures of that stuff. So
yeah, no,
so that's going. So if you don't want to spend $30 on this one item, you might want to spend 15 on that. So we get best of both worlds: the people that want to spend 30 and the people that want to spend 15 or whatever.
Right.
So
awesome.
And then they'll go together, and then we'll start seeing this person bought this with this, and then I'll be like, okay, maybe they only want to spend $35 to get over the threshold, 30 for one, and or 20 for one and 15 for the other, and they're over the threshold. So you could do it that way in the open brand if you want.
Okay. No, that's good. I just wanted to touch on that because I think it's really important for people to understand that, even if you start with a low entry point product, that product could just bring the awareness to your other products. But you need those other products in place. So Chris, why don't we do this really quickly? Why don't we just do a little bit of a recap of what happened with us for the past couple days now, because we weren't intending for this to happen this soon. Product 1 in this new brand has launched. We had a little bit of a hiccup there. We had our listing go away. Dom, we sent in the inventory, and after we sent in the inventory, the listing disappeared.
Nice.
Not just disappeared, was deleted.
Deleted, like gone. Like I'm like, so I reached out to my other partner, and I'm like, you got to contact support here because they're going to get that and not have any place to put it. Like it's not going to be attached to anything. So then Chris got a little bit involved, and then we figured it.
Chris yelled at Seller Central support.
They basically fixed it, but we don't know how or what they did. But it ended up coming back. But it also didn't come back as the same listing. It came back as like a copy or something. I don't even know.
So here's something that it might be worth throwing out, Scott. Basically, what happened is we got caught up in like an auto delete where they just went through and tried to clean some stuff up. Like they changed the piece of software, right? And it deleted the child listing, but not the parent, but it deleted something from the parent. So there was basically just an empty listing there that you couldn't edit or do anything with. We already had an ASIN, we already had an FNSKU, and there was inventory on its way into Amazon. So I emailed support and said, we can't just create another listing because it's going to create a new ASIN with a new FNSKU, and that's going to create problems because you're going to get inventory with the wrong sticker on it, and then you're going to yell at us. And the guy was like, oh, here, just use the flat file and create a new listing. And I was like, no, because it's going to create a new FNSKU and a new ASIN.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, okay, I actually read your email the second time you sent it to me. And they just went ahead and created it, and they're able to assign the old ASIN and FNSKU to that listing. Now, whatever he did doesn't let us have parent or child listings.
Right.
So I don't even know how he created that because it's a listing in a category that allows variations, but whatever. We don't care. We got the inventory in. And so they got the listing up the day before they checked in the inventory. And so they got all that checked in okay. And Scott, that was Tuesday that they started checking in the inventory, correct?
Yeah, it was Tuesday that it started getting checked in. I think we had like 30 or 40 in stock. We sent in 200. We ordered 500 total, so we'll probably be sending more in. And probably ordering another batch too because they are selling. And why don't we just kind of talk really quickly about what we did over the past 6 weeks to kind of prepare for this initial launch. And again, I mean, we talked all about it last night on our workshop. If you guys missed that, you can always head over to the replay, and is that at the original link, Chris, theamazingseller.com/build list. We had a really good time last night talking about this stuff. We went deep into this. We shared everything. We even shared some of the screenshots. But just to kind of give you guys a quick recap on how that went down, Chris, why don't you kind of go through what it looked like, what we did, the email that we sent, and all of that stuff. And oh wait, before you do, Facebook, do me a favor, like share this up. Like I haven't even mentioned that yet. Shame on me. Like share this with people that you think would get value from this, because I'm telling you right now, last night when we went over this, people were out of their minds on how much information this was, and what we're going to share with you right now could definitely be a game changer for you. So share it up, like it, give some of that Facebook love. Periscope, you guys do the same. Go ahead,
give
Chris.
some of those hearts on Scope over there. In Facebook, if you guys like understand what we're talking about, give us some hearts, give us some smiley faces. If you don't get it, give us a Mr. Yuck. Yeah. And we'll try and catch up with you. Now, we've talked about this kind of in the broad strokes in the past, Scott, where we said the new way to launch products, and when this first started, it was, you know, the end of 2016 after Amazon made their review change, and they said you can't give products in exchange for a review. You and I had a long phone call, and we said, you know, this is really the same thing that we've done in the past. I wonder if it'll work. And so what we're doing now is we're building a list of people who are interested, people who are raising their hands and saying, I like garlic presses, or I like cooking. And so I might be interested in your garlic press when it comes out, right? And the way that we're doing that, and you guys can see the whole thing broken down piece by piece at theamazingseller.com/build list. The way that we're doing that is through a product giveaway. So if we're selling a garlic press, we might give away an entry-level cooking bundle, right? With some pots and pans and knives and some of those kinds of things. And we're going to advertise that to our potential audience, people who we know are interested in cooking, and they're going to opt in with their email address. For this particular brand that we're talking about, we ran 2 contests because we thought we were going to get the product sooner than we did. So about 7 weeks ago, we started this whole process. We were able to gather just over 9,000 email addresses after everything shook out. And on Tuesday, we got the product in stock. On Wednesday, we sent out an email, and we basically said, I don't know, Scott, should I use the fly fishing example here? That probably makes more sense.
Yeah, do that, and then, give how we split the list up and we broke it down.
For our audience, let's switch examples, guys, and let me know if I lose you here. But we're selling a fishing, like a tackle box, right? That's our private label product on Amazon. And so what we did is we sent an email to all 9,000, 10,000 of these people that were on the list that had signed up for the chance to win the giveaway. And we said, hey guys, do you have a fishing rod right now? Yes or no? That's all we did. And if they said yes, we immediately showed them the new product that we had available on Amazon and gave them a 50% discount. 597, I think, was the total number, clicked yes in that email. So they let us know that they had that. So 600 people, let's just make it easy. 600 people saw the product offer on day one. We had driven no traffic inside of Amazon. And Scott, correct me if I'm wrong on this number, but we sold 27 units.
27 units on day one, yeah.
By showing it to 600 people.
To showing it to 600 people, and we charged 50% of the regular price. So basically, like, in the old days, we would give away the product for free or $1. So we would pay the FBA fees. We would pay all of the Amazon fees. And sometimes you'd pay a service to use their list, right? So let's say that you used a service and it cost you $100. There's that cost. And then on top of that, we would then give away our product at a huge discount in order to get an influx of sales. And a lot of times you try to get 15 to 20 sales a day. And then that would cost you. So again, you're spending money to do this. We ended up sending out that email to only 596 or 7 emails, and we were able to get 27 sales at 50% off. So we actually made some money in return.
I think we made $25 or something after it was all said and done, because we knew at 50% off, and that's the other thing. You and I had a long conversation about what discount should we give. You said, I want to be aggressive, and I said aggressive is good, but money is better. And then you kind of laughed. And so I think we came to the agreement of 50%, and we said, we could probably double it if we did 75%, or we know we would more than double it. We probably would have gotten all 600 people to take it for 99% off, right?
Right.
But we don't want to do that. We want real sales. We want to not just be putting out money, and we can do that at 50% because we had over 50% margins. And so we did that. We sold 27 on day one. Now, day two, which was yesterday, we sent an email to everyone who hadn't already seen that offer. So, just over 8,000 people after everything shook out. And we just made them a blanket offer and said, we don't know if you have a fishing pole or not. We knew about half of them did and half of them didn't. Here's this cool thing. If you or one of your family members has a fishing pole, grab this right now, get the 50% off. It expires on Monday. That's basically all it said. It was, hey, I just wanted to let you know we have this cool thing available. Oh, actually, I should probably rephrase that, Scott. So the email yesterday was the one where we let them know who the winner of the giveaway was.
Yes, that's right.
And we used that, and we said, okay, the winner was X. The winner was Dom Sugar from Canada. And sorry, you didn't win, but here's 50% off. We don't know if, Dom, you got a new fishing pole. We don't know if you have a fishing pole or not, but if you or any of your friends have one, check this thing out. You can get it for 50% off because you're a member of our audience and we love you. Go get it. And they could go get it at 50% off. And Scott, how many units did we sell from that email?
That was 35 or 36. I forget now. I think
It was 37. I
okay, it was 37.
It was 36 because we had 3 this morning when I looked, which made it 39. So
okay.
It was 36 yesterday. So we did 27 day 1 and 36 day 2. And if you guys have been around long enough to hear what the strategy was when we were doing those giveaways, what we were trying to do is approximate our 10 sales a day, right? So the goal was to do 10 giveaways a day for 5 days to get to that 50 sales mark. We were able to do that, but we were actually able to more than do that in 2 days without giving away additional money. We made money on the transaction, and we still have a list of just over 9,000 people, right around 10,000 people that we can use to launch product 2, product 3, product 4.
But I think what's more impressive there, though, I want to really highlight here is, okay, you know, it sounds great. You had 8,000, 9,000 emails sent. What was the open rate on those 8,000 or 9,000? Because that's how many people actually seen the offer.
34%. I can pull the actual number while we're on here.
Okay, so 34% of people actually open the email. So some people would, if you haven't been around like marketing or email marketing or any of that stuff for any period of time, 34% is amazing. Like, we shoot for 15 to 20%. We're excited with 15 to 20% open rate. We get 30, that's insane. Okay, so now to put this into perspective, we had out of those 8,000 or 9,000, how many people actually seen that offer, Chris?
Okay, so let's do the math on that, right? Let's just say 10,000 people were on that list. At a 34% open rate, that's 3,400 people,
right?
Right? You sold 37 units off of that. That's a 1% conversion rate just from the open.
Right.
Now, it was actually about a 19% conversion rate from people who clicked the link and went through.
Right.
But even if we just use that 1% number,
right, that's still fine.
That's really, really good. And we know that 60% of that list didn't even see the offer. So we could use a trick that we talked about a little bit in the workshop last night called resending to unopens, and hit everybody who we know hasn't seen the offer yet again and give them a second chance or a third chance and pick up another 20, 30.
Speaking of that, you should probably do that when we get off of here. All right.
Make it work for myself. That's what Power Hour is for.
Because I know that we haven't done that and we wanted to do that. So make a little note there. Let me see here. Let me write that down. Chris, send unopens to list. Good.
I'll just do it right now.
And then the other thing I want to say is we're not done. Okay, because we gave them a deadline too. It ends Monday. So what does that do for us? It gives us another opportunity and another reason to remind them, guys, just want to remind you that coupon's expiring. Now we're going to pick up additional sales. I don't have that data right now to give you guys because we're not there yet. I will give you guys an update next week. But I'm assuming we're going to probably pick up another 25 or 30 sales. I'm going to say, just from that. Now, the other cool part of this that we didn't really bring up, which I'm going to, it's a little ninja, but you can then take all of those people and we can up those into Facebook, and now we can send a little ad that follows them around for the day and says, hey, don't forget, get 50% off. You know, don't miss out on this opportunity. Or maybe next week it goes to 30% off. Okay, and then we can just say, okay, it's 30% off. And we can run an ad to those people on Facebook. We can do a lookalike. Like, there's so much that we can do with that. We're just scratching the surface. But I'm just so glad that we were able to have this data to share like as quickly as we did, because it just goes to show you that we're on the right track.
You're giving me ideas here, Scott. I'm wondering if there's a test that we should run next week. And guys, if you don't follow this, just hang on because we'll get through it in a second. Take everybody who didn't click that link.
Wake up.
Take everybody out of ConvertKit who didn't click the link, so they haven't acted on the offer.
Yep.
And drop them into a Facebook audience and run 30% off, or even the 50% off is expiring. Just run it to those people because we know they haven't been to the product page yet.
Yep.
And then bring them back to a landing page so we can track it and then drive them. That might be interesting. That might be an interesting little experiment. So while you're taking
next Friday, so we can give you an update, because we may run that experiment. Not sure if we will, but we may.
We'll have to figure out the logistics behind it, but that could be really interesting. Donald wants to know, he says, what email tool gives you all of these stats that you guys are talking about? Donald, the one that we love is ConvertKit. I've used just about everything out there. ConvertKit is by far the easiest to get set up and running. If you go to theamazingseller.com/ConvertKit, that should be there for you as
Is it
well.
Convert Kit or is it just Convert?
It's Convert Kit.
Okay.
I'll put that up on the screen for.
Yeah, put that up on the screen. And if you guys do go through that link, we do earn a cup of coffee, but we're going to give you guys some emails that you guys can model as well. We'll give you guys some swipe copy of the emails that work really well for those. So theamazingseller.com/convert kit. Check that out. It's a great autoresponder tool, very easy. Did you have a large number of unsubscribes, Chris? And you know what? I want to talk about unsubscribes and why it's not really a bad idea to have unsubscribes. But anyway,
so, and this is the thing, and Greg Cook says, how do you build the email list? Greg, you can go to theamazingseller.com/build list and see the whole strategy, but we're using giveaways to build that list. And with a giveaway, Scott, when you and I were talking about the different strategies that we could use to build these lists, there's a trade-off, right? There's some strategies where we can get really, really, really high quality leads, but we're going to pay substantially more for them. And there's some strategies where we could just capture everybody. Giveaways kind of fall right in between. So you get people who are definitely interested, but not necessarily committed to you as the person to give you all of those solutions. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you are going to have a higher number of unsubscribes than you would through something like an ebook or through previous purchases, like the people who fill out your insert card, right? Because those are people who are like, I love this brand. These are people who are like, oh, this is a really cool thing and I'm interested. As long as you do your follow-up correctly, you're not going to have a huge number of unsubscribes. Unsubscribes aren't a bad thing. And that's something, Scott, you've heard me rant about this in the past, but like everybody that has an email list is like, I'm afraid to email them because I don't want unsubscribes. I like unsubscribes because it means that you're not my target, right? Yep. So if you unsubscribe from my list, so be it. Have a nice day. I wish you well. Blessings on you and your family, right? Continue on with your life.
The more unsubscribes you have, to me, it's the more you're cleaning your list. You're making that list more potent. You're making it more concentrated to where your opens will actually be higher now because you're getting rid of the ones that aren't opening and that don't want to be bothered. So
the thing that was intriguing to me, and we're averaging between 0.02% and 0.01% on our unsubscribe rate right now. Not like 1%, but 1/10 of 1%. Mm-hmm. The thing that was interesting to me, Scott, is we had more unsubscribes on the email asking if they had a phishing poll than we did on the sales email.
That's great.
By about double. So it's not, but again, that's not a huge deal, right? Because we don't necessarily want those people. We're always going to be adding people to the list. And as long as you're adding faster than you're subtracting, then you're doing it right. But the way that you keep those people on that list is by showcasing personality. And what we've been able to do with this brand, and again, we talked about it all last night in the workshop, and I shared a couple examples of the types of emails that we're sending, is just, hey, here's this really cool thing, go check it out, right? You're emailing your audience like you're emailing your friend. Scott, if you found something awesome in the e-commerce space, you would just send me that article and tell me to go check it out, right? You'd be like, hey, Chris, go check this out. It's this really cool thing on giveaways. Yep. That's all you have to do, except instead of sending it just to me, you're sending it to me and 9,999 of my closest friends who also happen to be on the list, right?
Exactly.
And they raise their hand. By doing that, you create a personal connection with those people. And then when you actually have the reason to ask them for something like, hey, we're launching this product on Amazon, they're much more likely to respond. And a lot of the responses that we got were, thank you, Chris, not to me, but to the person who's in the face of the brand. Thank you, Chris, for all the stuff that you've been doing for us. We were looking for a way to support you, and we love that you've put this product on Amazon for us. Thank you so much for the 50% off. I bought one for me. I bought one for my sister. I bought one for my husband. I bought one for my dog. I bought one for everybody in my family. Thank you so much for the offer, right? Mm-hmm. And you, like, okay, you're welcome. Buy more if you want. Buy as many as you want. It doesn't bother me at all. So if you do that correctly, you're going to get those kind of responses. And it's very, very easy to do that kind of an email, because all you have to do is go find a few pieces of content that people might be interested in, a YouTube video, a blog post, some of those kinds of things that relate to your space. And then you just share it with the audience. That's all you have to do. Scott, you refer to that as being a reporter. Right?
Yeah, a reporter. That's all. You're just reporting about your market, your industry, whatever. Hey, Don, I want to ask you a quick question there. I know you're sitting there and you're ready to fall asleep because we're talking funnels and email and all that stuff. This is something that you've kind of done, even not really knowing 100% that you were doing it. Like, you've built an email list in the past of your VIPs, let's call it, that want to receive discounts. And, you've always done more or less, either free or, $1 or $2, like a really deep discount. Have you tried emailing them since the big updates and the review change and all of that stuff? Have you emailed them about a product launch that you wanted to boost? And have you tried to raise your price at all, or have you still went with the $1 or $2? I'm just curious.
Well, we have our email list from our warranty cards and stuff like that.
Yep.
Which is not crazy big, whatever, it's a couple thousand people or a few thousand people depending on whatever. But we mix them all together no matter what brand it is. We just keep it together. And then I had an exclusive, we call it was an elite team. I called it review group. So that was basically out of the top 1,000 Amazon reviewers. So that's who we did. Out of the 100, I think we had 200-300 people that were part of the team, so we could send the stuff to. And then since the change, we did email once, and a lot of people said, "Yeah, I don't know if I want to do it anymore." A lot of my friends are getting kicked off as reviewers, so we ended up losing about 150 or 100 of those. So we only had maybe about 100, 125 left. That said, yeah, send it to me, no problem. Again, our strategy with that, it was always free for those guys, no matter what. They're not gonna, because we're looking for the top reviewers, right? So it looks nice in the bottom. So it says Vine review or top 1,000 review. So it has that nice bowl.
But now the issue with that though now, and this is, I know someone personally that they were a reviewer I'm not going to mention the actual review site. It's one we all know, and he basically got blacklisted. And all he was doing was buying products at a discount and reviewing them. He wasn't doing anything black hat or anything like that. And now he can't even leave reviews on any products he buys, not even ones he wants to.
Yeah, that's what I say. A lot of people were really afraid, so they said, now since we got to those 150 people that said, reviewers that said, yeah, no problem, we have not emailed them because we've totally changed our. Again, I've got 2 to 3 set brands, 3 years old, almost 4 years old now. They're selling massive units, so I don't care. We just leave it the same way. We don't do any funnels. We don't. I'm happy with the sales. I don't want more. I don't want less. Leave those. Just like if you have, whatever new car comes out, we put it in the showroom. Get rid of the old stuff. Move on.
Right.
Now with the open brand, we've definitely changed our outlook. We've went for products like we've talked about for the last 3-4 months of this show. A lot of competition and unique difference. No giveaways, no reviews, nothing, and with sales, just products. Like that example, the 2-3 products that we talked about last week, same thing. Hardly any competition or none at all. Again, it might be a little bit of work because we have to source from different places to put kits together or packages or bundles, but in the end, it's worth it. That's just the way we do it. I don't want to fight with anybody anymore. And as soon as I look at a product and I see 8 pages of the same stuff, that's it. Get rid of it. Go to the next thing. I don't even bother.
Yep.
I want it to be honest, Scott, Chris, this is what I look at. If there's more than 8 people selling it, I'm not going to do it. Because if you only have when I type in the keyword and it says 555 lists, or what does it say? 1 of 455, then I'll look into it. If it says 1 out of 285,000, I just I don't even bother researching it anymore because I know it's going to.
Although, Dom, you and I had a conversation the other day about a product that could go well in the brand that we're working on, and I said to you, I go, there's like pages upon pages, and this will be a product that is right now selling for $14.99. It's one that everyone is starting to sell. It's going to eventually it's going to be down to $9.99, and I said I'm just not sure I even want to go down that road right now because I just know it's going to be driving the price down. But I do know that, and you kind of agreed, if you are selling in this brand, you almost have to have that because it's part of that niche or that market. So you'd be foolish not to get a few hundred of them and put them in your store.
That's right. This is not going to be your first release product, because that would be a mistake to do that. You'd just be joining the map. You'd be part of a herd, and whoever can fit through the funnel. Not no pun intended on the funnels you guys do, but there's 50 cattle trying to get through that one gate. That's basically what I look at it. The first 5 will make it through. The other ones will eventually make it through, but they'll never have the head start. So that's an add-on product. What that's going to do, even at that point, I would actually even undercut the market. Just so I would if the retail market is asking $13.99 for it, I'd actually put it for $10.99 or $9.99 just to get those sales away, and then you're going to bring your average, and you're still going to be making $3-4 off that because the cost.
And you're going to then bring people into your other products.
Exactly. So it's an add-on product. Now you're going to get them 6. Now a lot of brands, we do that with a couple of our other brands. It's stuff that I would have started with, but we just add on because people will email us and say, hey, do you have this to go with this? We notice other sellers have it, but I don't want to buy it from them if I'm going to buy 2 from you of another
Exactly.
thing. So it's the same variation if you're selling selfie sticks and lightning cables, and nobody wants to get in that market. But if you're already selling cell phone stuff, you're going to need cell phone cases. You're going to need, all these different, even though the market's saturated.
Right.
That's how you get, especially the cell phone guys, they have thousands of SKUs.
Yeah.
If they're not first to market, it's still nice to have it because people go through your thing and say, okay, I need that. So that's why I would do it. I would never start with that product. But yeah, if you already have a brand, which a lot of people out there that are listening do have a brand, it's all right to if you want to add something that's saturated,
Yep.
again, I wouldn't start with it, but you're still going to make some sales on it. I would buy 5,000 units, but I would test it, see how it works.
And
now,
even
in saying that, Scott.
Oh, go ahead.
I would still do it. I would still offer different variations, like I told you.
Yes. Different quantities.
Different quantities, different sizes, different colors.
Mm.
Yeah, I test the market. So if they're only selling black and gray, I'd sell black, gray, blue, red, and I'd put 2 packs, a 3-pack and a 5-pack, because nobody's doing that. And then that's how you're going to differentiate. That's how you're going to get your price points higher, and you're going to be competing against with the head-to-head. Your head-to-head product's going to compete, but everything else won't because people. Maybe they can't afford to have 4 different variations, when they're ordering stuff. So,
and the other thing I think about that product too, going down further, and I know this is kind of out of your comfort level, but it's something that I think about is like with that product too, it'd make a beautiful product for free plus shipping, and then on the back end we sell them additional parts of our products, our product line, because it's a great lead-in offer. It doesn't cost us much. I think we can source it for like $3. And again, if you're doing a free plus shipping, they're going to pay shipping. We might eat the $3, but we know that once we get them through the door with a credit card in hand, we can then show them our other products that are very, very closely related that we know that they're interested in. And then we can turn that cart value into $50, $75, $100.
You could. Yeah, it's a strategy you could do, but the brand that you guys are building, your team there, which, I'm a little envious that I'm not part of it, but that's fine. I got lots of things on the go. But it's the brand that you're doing.
Always part of it.
I know. I'm just kidding. I don't think you even have to do that. That product's going to sell itself when you have all 5, when you built your 5-6 unit, you could just add that in for $9.99 and people are going to pay you the $10 for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I keep it at 14 and add a single piece for $9.97, a 2-piece for $8. But I mean, you could do that way again. For 3 years, we bought product just to give away. If I bought 2,000 units, 500 to 1,000 were to give away for free. So we already knew we were going to lose money. And again, back then you kind of had to do it. And I'm glad we did it back then because we wouldn't be in the place where we are now. Because if I tried to relaunch in the niches that we're in, we'd never do it. It would cost us triple amount of money on PPC, and because we've got to, it was always, push, bully yourself through the top. That was the old saying, right? Give as much PPC, give as many ways you can, whatever you want. Your mom, your dog, your next door neighbor, your cousin, get rid of as many as you can so you could rank. And again, if you're getting in those markets, that's what especially I don't hear too much people talking about supplements anymore or creams or health and beauty stuff. Like everyone that I talk to or coach or help, nobody's coming up to me and saying, hey, I want to get the supplements now. Everyone knows that.
You better have deep pockets.
You better have deep pockets or already know that market. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you already, maybe you're a pharmacist. I'm talking a legal pharmacist.
Yep.
Or you're in that industry, you're distributing and you distribute pharmacy goods and stuff. So you already know a little bit of them to go in dry and to try. Again, you guys are going through it, right? I mean, I don't know how the brands are going with your products, but I'm sure it's tough. It's not an easy market to get into. But for generically. Again, for that product, you could give it away for free, and that could be, but you're already doing good. You already tested the market with your emails. You said 27 and 39.
Yep.
You could do the same thing with that product. Just offer it for $3 or $5.
Yep.
People will take it in a heartbeat.
Yep.
So,
and we've done, I think, 7 so far today without doing anything.
Yeah. And there's lots of ways you can do it. You can say, look, buy this thing for regular price for $19.99. I'll give you this for free. So then that's how BOGO works, right? At your shoe store or your BOGO, buy one, get one, 50% off. So you're actually only giving off 25% off both. So then you bring your average cost up. So really it's costing you $20. You're charging $5 for one and $14.99 for the other, which is you would give 25% off anyways. So you get this, buy this for $19.99. I'll give you this for free. You give them a coupon code for both. One for full price off, and then you bring. Do you understand? So now you're getting your algorithm moving on both products at the same time. So that's how BOGOs work.
Cool. Let's because I know we're going to wrap this up at probably 3 o'clock. So, Chris, we have any questions in there you want to address?
We do. We have a couple really good ones that I want to go through. One here from Eve Berry, who says, "I've heard about Facebook bots like ManyChat that use Facebook Messenger to talk to customers." Guys, if you don't understand that, don't worry about it. What do you think? Seriously, it's just there's a bunch of terms in there. What do you think about using these instead of your email marketing? Do not do that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool feature. However, everybody that's doing that is doing that to get your email address down the road, because then they can continue to communicate with you. If Facebook decides to shut down the ManyChat integration, which I'm predicting right now they're going to do because it's going to get abused.
It already is.
Then you're out of that list. With an email list, you have that, and you can do that. And if you look at the people who are doing that well, and it's a really cool way to build a list really fast, and if you wanted to not have to worry about it in the future, you could do that. My suggestion would be drive them to a giveaway. You're going to get a higher opt-in rate, and you're going to have that email address, which means you can not just email them, but you can do some of the other ninja stuff that Scott was talking about, like creating a custom audience on Facebook, and you can use those email addresses on other platforms to do some other really cool stuff. You can't do that if you only have them inside of Facebook Messenger. You never want to be stuck in one platform if you can avoid it. That's just my kind of take on that.
Yep.
Dino wants to know, do you guys have single-use coupon codes when emailing, or are you using a general one? We are not using single-use promo codes. We are using a group code, because we're not doing it at 100. It's not free. It's not 99% off. If somebody wanted to come in and buy all of our inventory for 50% off, so be it. That being said, you can still do a max quantity limitation on that. I don't care how many times they want to come back and buy 2 units. If they want to come back every day until Monday and buy 2 units at 50% off, go for it. I'm willing to do that as a part of the launch, because I'm not giving it away for free. So we're just using a group code. That way you can just write the group code into the email. Everybody that gets it, they can forward it. They can do whatever else they want with it, and then they get the chance to use it. Beth says, and Scott, I'm going to get your opinion on this. Will you get verified reviews from people if you gave them 50% off?
I believe you still will, but I can't say 100% for sure, because I've heard some people say yes, and I've heard some people say no. So I just think it depends. One of Chris's.
The answer is it depends, but the real question, Scott, is does it matter?
Well, no, I don't really think it does matter, to be honest with you. Not many people look to see that it's verified or unverified. As long as it shows up as a review, that's all I care about. What I do not want to show up there ever is where it says, I received this product at a discount in exchange for my honest, unbiased review. I do not want that in there, because that's against terms of service. You're not supposed to be doing that. Do I care if it's verified or unverified? Not really. If I can get one verified, I'd love that. It means it's just a little bit better, but I don't think I'm going to convert higher because it's a verified versus unverified. So I think the other question would be, will a review even show up if they purchased it for 50% off? And the answer is, I still believe yes, it will show up.
The only thing that's a sticking point there is whether or not they get the verified reviewer badge, which, to be honest with you, I don't care about, because it's not going to make it's not going to be an issue. Beth, that's not true. They will still post the review in every case that I've ever seen. It just shows up as unverified. So again, it doesn't even show up as unverified. It just doesn't show up as verified, right? It's not like they say unverified.
Right.
They either say verified or they don't say anything. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But again, we're not doing it for the reviews.
Right.
We're doing it for the sales. We've gotten organic sales today from the 2 days that we did yesterday. So even if none of those, what was that, Scott, like 60 people left us a review, it doesn't matter, because we now have organic ranking. We were able to make it to the bottom of page 1 in less than a day for 2 of our main keywords.
What I'm going to say, guys, is that, first of all, you have to spend what, $50 on a $50 in your account before you can leave reviews. Who knows how many of those people haven't spent worth it to get even verified. Besides, it doesn't really matter. You sold 70 units in 2 days and not one review on your product. They bought it because you're getting 50% off or 25%.
And we're converting at over 20%.
Yeah. That's the bottom line. Again, we proved that a couple times on the open brand. 3-4 products now have no reviews, 1 or 2, and we're still selling 30, 40. I mean, to sell 300 pieces a day at Christmas time with not one review, and that's not like that was. I still only have, I think, 12 or 13 on them. It's not like there's a lot, and we're still selling 20 or 30 a day total all across all of them. Not as good as 300 a day, but with no reviews, so it's not
Crazy. Yeah.
I think the review thing is just a hype thing. I think we just, we're doing it because we think it might have some. I understand conversion and all that, but again, you need reviews. It was the peeing competition, right? I have 400 reviews. My competitor has 300. I need 600. I need 800. That's what it was all about. Who's got the most reviews? Who's got the biggest arm or the nicest car, the biggest house? It's the same thing. You could.
I think it also depends on the product, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it depends what market.
If you have a product that's even more expensive, then people are going to start doing a little bit more research. I know my wife, she always says to me, did you look up on Amazon? Did you see what the reviews said about that product? Even if I'm going to Target, even if I'm going to Target to buy it, she wants me to look and see what people are saying about it. And I get that, but that's for like $100 blender or something like that. But if I'm buying like an accessory, a $15 accessory, or $20, maybe it's a flag thing for my my mic stand here. I'm not going to look at the reviews what people said about the flag.
Exactly. I mean, listen, we tell people to go buy the Scotty peeler for our 1K Fast Track. It's got good reviews and bad reviews. I still bought it. I still use it. I like it. I didn't care. I go buy Keurig pods or Tassimo pods. I'm sure there's bad reviews. I never look at. I just order them. I never look at the. I get it. Yeah, when I look for my 75-inch Sony TV, I look at the reviews because I'm putting $4,000 out for my TV.
Right.
Or a new iPhone, or this, or like you said, cameras for this, or stuff that iPod stand that's $180, or this Nessie microphone that I have that I paid $180. I want to see what people are talking about. Maybe this is not the best one for podcasts. That I get, but for a $15, I mean, let's be honest. I call them trinkets or tchotchke. They're just gonna buy it. They're like, it's 50-50 the reviews here. I don't know, it's $8. Oh, maybe I'll move on. No, I'll just press buy add to cart and I'll move on. If it's no good, I'll throw it out. You know what? If it doesn't work, guess who takes it back? Amazon.
That's right.
That's it.
Yep. All right, Chris, let's go ahead and answer a couple more and then we can jump.
I see one last one here from Chris Stone. He says, what's the best way to relaunch after running out of stock? And I would say the same way that you're launching from the beginning. The first thing that I would do if I ran out of stock is nothing. I would turn it back on. The same, just turn PPC back on and see what happens. A lot of times that's all you have to do because Amazon's going to kind of put you in a similar spot. And if you sell the way that you were selling before, then you can kind of pick back up. If you don't hit that momentum right off the bat, then send an email to the list that you're building using the strategy that we're talking about and let them know that, hey, it's a Mother's Day sale, it's an Easter sale, whatever reason you want to come up with to give them a little bit of a discount, and you'll get 10, 15, 20 of those people to go buy it, and then you don't have to worry about it. You're going to get 20 sales day one and be done.
Yeah, I want to do a follow-up on that because exactly what's happening to us right now. We're getting all the replenishes back from Christmas, and of the headache that I got today, the 5,000 units that we sent in directly to Amazon, they're all live. It says won't be in stock till like May 15th or something. I don't know what. Crazy, right? 2 weeks from now. And I got one of the items we got has the dreaded Addon item, our lead-in product. So now I've worried about that in the past, and I've emailed. And from what I find, after a couple of weeks, it actually goes away if you start selling. So I don't know how it works. If you don't have no sales, they put an Addon item, and I sell 10, 20, 30, it goes away. It's crazy how it works. And then I always panic. It's like, okay, we're not back to our sales of 20, 30 a day of this product. Traditionally, you have to wait about 3 weeks to 4 weeks organic sales without doing anything if you want it to go back to where it was. It's not going to happen in 5-6 days, guys. So don't start going crazy with your PPC because you want to know. Just let it take some time. And after 3-4 weeks, then you'll definitely have a problem. But now we learned our lesson. We just leave it at 3 to 4 weeks, and it usually always comes back.
Yep, you got to be patient, like anything.
You have to be patient. It's just like launching a new product, but not as harsh. But it will take you time once people see your listing.
Yep. Any other quick questions, Chris?
That about wraps it up. Scott, if you have any other parting thoughts that you want to leave everybody with, we can do that, and then we'll say adieu. Yeah, no, I just want to just say thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. We had a pretty good crowd on here today, it looks like. And if you guys are watching this on a replay, you guys can still show us a little bit of love by liking it or sharing it or leaving a comment. We still go through and read these comments. We definitely want to hear where you're at in your business. And also, if you guys are actually building a list yet, I'm just curious because I think that's something that I said this last night on the workshop. It's something that I think that you should start doing immediately, even if you don't
have an email provider yet, like a ConvertKit or an Aweber or a MailChimp, like start slow and just start collecting through a plugin. We use something that we created now, which we're now able to talk about, which is Giveaway Boost. And that we actually created this plugin for ourselves. It works on WordPress, and we're able to now create these landing pages within a few clicks of a button. We built it for ourselves. It's more customizable and all that stuff, but I'm not going to sit here and go on a big pitch fest about it. If you guys want to hear more about it, you can always head over to our replay, watch us going through building a landing page and kind of how to collect these emails. And then we also talk a little bit about Giveaway Boost there, and that's at theamazingseller.com/build list. You can find that all there. Anyone on right now that is the 1K Fast Trackers, we're going to be seeing you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. So 11 a.m. we're going to see you guys. It's going to be one of our sessions that we do, and it's going to be a Q&A session and also a check-in. So really excited about that. I know there's a lot of people in there right now crushing it, and I think the last time, Dom, that we got on and we kind of gave everyone a little bit of a wake up. People really started to wake up, and I started seeing a lot more activity there, which is always awesome to see. And there's a few people in there right now that are over, I think, $1,000 or $2,000 already in revenue generated. So it's pretty awesome. So anyway, that's it. That's going to wrap it up for me. Dom, you got any last parting words you want to leave anyone with for the weekend?
No, I'm good. I just thanks again for another amazing hour of the Power Hour at TAS, and we'll see everyone for the 1K Fast Track tomorrow. And hopefully everyone's out there finding product.
Yeah, that's
Pushing
awesome.
product.
Yeah, pushing product. All right, so Chris, is that it? You got anything you want to say, or you want to wrap this baby up?
Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Guys, if you are at all interested, and I see Rich says list building is the next thing for me, go check out theamazingseller.com/build list. Even if you watched the previous one that we did on this topic, this is the exact strategy that we're using, and not just kind of the broader strokes that we gave you guys before. You get to see the case study that we did. You get to see the results from the different markets that we've done it in, and you get to see the exact results of what happened this week, which is kind of cool as well. So go check that out. That's theamazingseller.com/build list. And guys, we will see you next Friday.
All right, guys, take care. And as always, take action. We'll see you. Have an awesome, amazing weekend and be safe. All right, we'll see you.